Today on Judge Faith, Facebook reunites high school friends, but did they make it as lovers?
Towards the end, Susan became very nasty. I came home one day and found she had removed all the remotes out of the house.
You know, if you take a remote control away from a man, you're going to get him out real quick then.
He was always there sitting on my couch, looking at my TV, and I couldn't watch my shows.
And you couldn't watch Judge Faith because he was trying to watch the other shows.
That's right.
And later, two Detroiters collide in a dangerous 8-mile intersection.
As I was driving down 8 Mile, it's completely dark. The street lights don't work over in that area.
Boom! Jamal hit me. My glasses went one way, my phone popped out my hands, my back twisted.
It was 9:15 at night, sir. How was someone supposed to see you?
Plaintiff Susan Markowitz says the defendant was on hard times when she invited him to live with her. But then his 3 dogs destroyed her home. She's suing for damages to her chairs and home. Defendant Jeffrey Brown says he doesn't owe any money because Susan tried to poison his dogs, and they didn't cause that much damage to her house.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Markowitz versus Brown.
Thank you, Juan. Susan Markowitz?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Jeffrey Brown, for $2,826. You say his dogs caused damage to your home?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning, ma'am? Tell me what's going on here.
I know him from way back in high school. Years later, I found him on AOL again. On Facebook, I'm sorry, I didn't have AOL anymore.
Okay.
So his name came up, and I reached out and said, "Are you the same person?"
And
he
when
said, yes.
when was this?
About 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
No.
Okay, why don't you give me some background, sir?
My wife had passed away back in 1990.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, well, thank you. And we struck up a conversation.
On Facebook 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Where are you living at the time?
In a town called Voorhees, New Jersey. I had been working for a law firm and as their credit manager, and I was laid off.
Okay, so at some point, he actually moves to Houston to your home.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about that. What happened?
He was walking away from his home. They were going to foreclose, and he said, "I can't stay here. There are no jobs here." I posed it. I said, "You can come here." I said, "I'm pretty sure you can find a job here."
Where would he live?
I have a home, and I offered him to use my spare room, my guest room.
What about his pets? What did you tell him about the pets?
We talked about the dogs extensively. He said they were trained. They were well trained. They were competition dogs.
But he had 3 big dogs that he wanted to move into your home with him. Let me see a photo of the dogs. Those are the dogs, sir?
Yeah, those are the dogs.
These dogs weigh, Lily is 61 pounds, Luna is 64, and my 7-year-old is 74 pounds.
I mean, they're beautiful dogs, but here you are.
are.
You live in Houston. You live by yourself, ma'am?
Yes. He said that they were very well behaved. He showed me pictures of their ribbons that they had gotten in competition. And, you know, dogs, when they get ribbons for competition, it's usually because they can follow commands and they can do whatever's required. So I took him at his word, and he also did say that if for any reason the dogs did do any damage, he would make good and repair it, pay for the repair.
Okay, so what ends up happening? He moves to Houston, moves into your home.
Well, he didn't have any money. He wasn't working. And so what I said to him was that you can just give me something towards the extra utilities that's going to cost me while you're here. And we agreed that he would pay me $100, and that's about what it cost.
Did you like him?
No.
As more than a friend?
No. You know, I knew him for many years. I would let him come and stay with me.
Did you like her?
More than a friend? No. Do I think initially that she wanted more of something in the relationship? Yes.
So what happens when you live there, sir?
After I was there about a month, one of the labs tried to jump up on her lap. Typically, that's the way labs are. They're very friendly. From that point forward, she did not like it, and things really went bad. She required that they were penned up in the kitchen and breakfast room, and I put a baby gate there. and Lily chewed the corner of 3 chairs.
And then you said that a couple of weeks later that you found some prescription pills on the floor, and that's when you got really concerned?
The situation was this. One of the workers, she had workers in there, found pills on the outside of the front door, the back door. And I picked them up, and I said, Susan, please be careful with your pills.
Because the dogs might get them.
Correct.
You think that at some point she was trying to intentionally poison the dogs?
Absolutely.
Why do you say that? Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Because prior times when she would drop pills on the floor, I would comment and say, please be careful. Okay, this time, when I said it to her, she started yelling and screaming, I don't drop my pills on the floor. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Your Honor, and he had pills in the kitchen, too.
How long did you live there?
From October to February.
Okay, and what happened in the end? When did you move out?
At the end, she threatened to lock me out of the house.
Coming up, the breakup goes from bad to worse.
I came home one day and found that I wanted to turn the TV on and watch TV, and she had removed all the remotes out of the house.
You know, if you take a remote of control away from a man, you're going to get him out real quick then,
and
right?
That's what my intent was.
And later, Detroit drivers dispute the damage after a car crash.
How close did you get to his car before you saw that there was a car in front of you?
5, 10 feet.
No, that's not true, Your Honor.
Sir, you weren't in his car. You don't know.
I didn't hear no squeal mark.
Plaintiff Susan Markowitz says Jeffrey's 3 dogs destroyed her home. She's suing for damages to her chairs and home. Defendant Jeffrey Brown says he doesn't know because Susan tried to poison his dogs.
So what were the circumstances of you moving out?
I felt the dogs she had attempted to poison the dogs. I immediately, that same day, moved the dogs out of that house into a kennel that cost me $700.
So you moved the dogs out right then, and you still live in the home? For
yes.
how much longer?
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
And
something.
those 2 or 3 weeks were not pleasant for you, I assume? For either one of you?
No,
right?
To the point of not being pleasant. I came home one day and found that I wanted to turn the TV on and watch TV, and she had removed all the remotes out of the house just to be spiteful.
Did you do that?
I did do that because you know, he was sitting on my couch with no shirt on. He had no respect for me.
You know, if you take a remote of control away from a man, you're going to get him out real quick then,
and
right?
That's what my intent was.
Because he's not getting up to change the TV channel.
My intent was for him to realize I really want him out. He would sit all day long, all night long, when he wasn't looking for a job or on the internet, which was not very much. I mean, he was trying, but he was always there sitting on my couch, looking at my TV, and I couldn't watch my shows.
And you couldn't watch Judge Faith because he was trying to watch the other shows.
That's right.
Yeah. That's not good, sir. That's not good. Tell me about the damages you say they caused. Can I see the damages for the chairs?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a comment about these estimates. The estimate for the 3 chairs, not 4. I spoke to the upholstery place on March the 10th. I asked him if he came out and physically saw the chairs, and since she was claiming there were 4 chairs and not 3. And he said no, all he had received were pictures.
How old are these chairs, ma'am?
About 24 years old.
24 years old. And you're asking for him to pay you $1,500?
That's what it would cost to repair the chairs.
Okay, no, he's not doing that. The chairs aren't even worth that much. 3 chairs,
Yeah,
those
the other
damages?
thing that Mr. Seymour had told me, Your Honor, was that the price of the fabric being...
It's 6 new chairs for $1,500 and a table.
The price of the fabric being $1,350 was an upgraded price.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is an inflated estimate. If that's what you're asking for me to order him to pay, that's not going to happen. He admits that his dogs did chew on the chairs, and there's proof of that, obviously, with these photos. Your estimate is clearly an inflated price. These chairs are 24 years old. I'm going to order the defendant to pay you $100 per chair. How many chairs were damaged?
There were 4 chairs damaged.
Okay, I only have a photo of 3 chairs that are damaged.
And that's
Here's
all
the
that
other
were
one.
damaged.
No, there is another one.
Okay, there's a scratch there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order you to pay for the other 3 chairs, $100 per chair, and $25 for the 4th chair. That's a total judgment in the plaintiff's favor, $325. Good luck.
There were 4 chairs that were damaged, not 3, and it was a set of 6. I can't do anything with 4 damaged chairs.
I thought it was an outstanding, just ruling.
Plaintiff Bryce Pippins says the defendant was distracted when he slammed into the back of his car. He's suing for a deductible. He's accompanied in court today by Darlene Pippins. Defendant Jamal Caver says he doesn't owe any money because Bryce was parked in the middle of a dark street. He's countersuing for emotional distress. He's accompanied in court today by Dre King.
Bryce and
Yes.
Darlene Pippins, you are suing the defendant Jamal Caver
Correct.
for $1,500 for deductible you had to pay on your car as a result of a car accident.
That's correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, $500 for emotional distress.
Correct.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Pippins. Tell me what happened. How did this accident occur?
Well, on March 9th, I was traveling east on 8 Mile to
In
do
Detroit?
a service call for a client of mine. And
Around what time,
I got
sir?
caught by a train.
Around what time, sir?
I think it was like 9:15
In the evening?
in the evening. I had been there for about 20 minutes, so I decided to cut the car off, let it rest, because I didn't know how long the train was. But there's some notorious trains coming across that track. They can take up to like 45 minutes to an hour. You never know how long you're there.
So you've been there for 20 minutes? And
Yes.
so were there cars behind you then?
Yes, multiple cars, maybe a mile or two.
Okay, so there were
behind
cars
me.
in front of you and behind you?
In front and behind.
Okay. Did you see him?
No, Your Honor. As I was driving down 8 Mile, it's completely dark. The street lights don't work over in that area.
I was sitting there. After I turned off my radio, I made a call to my client, and I told him, I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable right here because the train gate had just let up, and my car wouldn't start. It stalled.
Okay.
So prior to that, I made the phone call, and I was talking to my client, and I told him, I said, look, my car won't stop. He said, you want me to come get you? I said, yes, you can come. I said, because I am afraid that somebody is mad because they're crossing this track like really wild, that someone may hit me. Boom! Jamal hit me.
Coming up on Judge Faith, could the car crash have been prevented?
You're not saying that everyone around you was an irate driver that night, are you?
Yes, I am.
How do you know that?
Because of the speed that they was using, that's how Jamal was able to move up so fast and not see me.
Plaintiff Bryce Pippins says Jamal is at fault for the accident. He's suing for a deductible. Defendant Jamal Caver says he doesn't owe because Bryce was parked in the middle of a dark street. He's countersuing for emotional distress.
As soon as I said the word hit me, Jamal ran into me. My glasses went one way, my phone popped out my hands, my back twisted towards the side of the seat, and I just sat there for a minute because I kind of like was dazed out. Jamal had came up to the car and asked me, hey man, are you all right? So I just looked at him and I just laid back down until I just realized where I was.
So the car would not start.
Yes.
And other cars had started driving around you?
That's correct.
To cross
Yes.
the train track?
Exactly.
And so you were sitting there with your car, it would not start.
Yep.
So you were stalled on the road.
That's correct.
Okay, and did you put any kind of hazard lights on? What did you do to indicate
It
to other
just wouldn't light
drivers that
up.
you were stalled?
It did not light up until he hit me. It lit up.
So it was 9:15 at night, sir, and you said that you were concerned about someone hitting you. How was someone supposed to see you?
It was a lit up area because we were on a railroad track, so
At
there was enough
9:15 at
light
night?
there.
What happened, sir?
I didn't actually see him. I tried to swerve from hitting him, and they only nipped him. And that's when I got out, asked him, was he okay? And the car didn't light up until his friend came, went up under the hood and messed with the battery and started the car up and drove it off to the side while the police was there.
So how close did you get to his car before you saw that there was a car in front of you?
About 5-10 feet.
Okay, and you were the
that's
passenger
not
in his
true,
car?
Your Honor.
Yes, sir, you weren't in his car. You don't know.
I didn't
how
hit no
close he
squirrel
was.
marks.
Can you stand up, please, and step over? You were a passenger in his car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what did you observe? Did you see his car?
I didn't see his car until we was like 5 or 10 feet. And then I was like, hey, it's a car right there. And he was like, oh, and he tried to, twirl over. By that time, it hit him.
Did you see any lights on his car at all?
No, I didn't see no lights.
He didn't have any on.
No lights.
You don't have any flares that some people keep in the trunk of their car?
No, I was afraid to step out the car because people was irate driving. They was like pulling around me at a high rate of speed.
You can't say that people were irate. They were driving, and you were concerned about getting out of your car. You're not saying that everyone around you was an irate driver that night, are you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And you know that because how do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that,
Because of the speed that they was using. That's how Jamal was able to move up so fast.
The people you think were angry because your car had stopped, so they had to go around you?
Yes.
Did the police come out and do a police report?
Yes.
Were either one of you given a ticket?
No.
Who has an incident report?
I have an incident report here.
You want to stand up, ma'am? Were you in the car?
No, I was not.
Okay, what are you a witness to? You can step
only
over.
the aftermath, but we did go and get a police report.
Okay.
That's what we had submitted. We submitted the police report.
And you're the owner of the car and his wife,
Yes, I am
correct?
the owner of the car.
And how much is so was the car totaled or what was the damage?
It was deemed a total loss. We took it to a collision shop that's approved by our insurance company, and they said that it's a total loss.
Do you have photos of the damages? Let me take a look.
Yes.
What is this a photo of?
That's the rear bumper.
The left.
This is a total loss?
That's the right.
It's-
Well, basically.
It's a total loss because the undercarriage was damaged also.
Let me see the photo of your car, sir. The damages to your car. Okay, your car was hit. What year is this?
A 1980 Cadillac.
Your Honor, my husband was hit. He was hit so hard by Mr. Caver that he sustained injuries. 8 Mile is a straight street. There are no curves, no hills, anything to obstruct Mr. Caver's vision.
Except there's a car on the road with no lights and it's night outside and it's nighttime.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
So there are two parts to these lawsuits. There's the question of liability and there's the question of damages. My concern in this case is your car was stalled and you admit that there were no lights, no brake lights, no lights at all on your car, and it's 9:15 at night. And it's not sufficient enough for you to come in and say, well, the area was lit. It was dark. How could a driver see that there was a car there until they got right up on you, sir? And because the only way he saw your car was because of his own headlights. It's not his fault that your car stalled. I mean, and obviously you didn't want it to stall, but you were concerned about being hit because you're sitting out there with no lights, and that's why people keep flares in their car just in case something happens. They can warn other drivers. I don't understand why you think he should be responsible for paying $1,500 for your deductible. What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
He was using excessive speed.
He didn't even get a ticket for speeding. You understand?
Carl,
what's your counterclaim for? $500 for emotional distress.
Lost wages. We was actually on our way to work that night when this happened. And I'm a DJ at a club.
Why didn't you make it to work? Why is that his fault?
Because I didn't have a way to work.
You didn't have a way to work? He was in the car with you. Don't you have cabs in Detroit? You have Uber in Detroit? There are ways you can get to work, right?
They have Uber, yes.
Okay, so
but I never knew about them until recently.
Listen, no, your counterclaim well, first of all, your counterclaim is for emotional distress. I don't see anything here about lost wages, but I wouldn't order that for you anyway because I think you could find another way to get to work that night if you really need to. You weren't the one injured here. Your car was damaged, but you weren't the one injured, so you could have made it to work. But, sir, you have not proven your case that he's responsible for this accident. The accident happened because your car was stalled and there was no lights on your car. Your claim is dismissed. Judgment in this case for the defendant.
You know, you can't blame somebody for something you didn't do. You should have got out of the car and stood to the side of the road, had some flares or something.
I just feel just lost a good case.
A motorcycle test ride turns into a 24-hour joyride.
He asked if he could take the bike out for a test drive. I said, just make sure you're back before dark and don't take long.
She came out running, getting in my face, telling me, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to beat your ass. And then she's, I got somebody in the car waiting for you.
Did you tell them you were going to take it out for a couple of hours?
No, I did not.
Isn't the problem is you never brought it back until the next day, sir?
And later, New Yorkers disagree over the details of a heated rent dispute.
Christmas or Christmas Eve, he said something to me about eviction. So I started looking at other places.
Every time you call them, it's an excuse. I had to totally gut the kitchen. I just got to the point where I was over it.
Well, everyone has their breaking point, sir.
Plaintiff Mark Leos says he was making payments on a motorcycle he bought from the defendants until they got ugly with him after a test ride. He's suing for a refund for motorcycle payments. Defendants Travis Van and Roger Van say they owe nothing because Mark took the motorcycle on a joyride and he stopped making payments when they confronted him. They're countersuing for lost wages. They're accompanied in court today by Beth Rocha.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Leo versus Van and Van.
Thank you, Juan. Mark Leos?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Travis Van
Yes.
and Roger Van
Yes.
for $2,000 for a refund for a motorcycle. You say you were in the process of purchasing from them?
Yes.
And you are countersuing for $492 in lost wages and registration paperwork?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Mr. Leos. Tell me what happened here.
I came across Roger's bike on Craigslist.
What kind of bike is it?
It's a Yamaha 250.
What year?
2015.
Okay, so it's brand new.
Yeah, he was wanting $4,200 on the Craigslist, and he brought it down to $3,800. So I said, okay, I would take it. I asked him if we can make payments on it, and it would take about a month and a half to pay it off, but they can keep the bike and everything. So once it was paid off, I would take the bike in my
Did you put any of
possession.
this in writing?
Yes, we did do it in writing.
Okay, can I see that, please? Now, Mr. Van, is there any particular reason why you were selling the bike?
My dad had purchased it and then had a pretty major heart attack. And so after that, he was just too weak to continue to ride, so he chose to sell it.
Sell it. Okay, you're doing better now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, good to hear. All right, so you make payments, and you actually make close to $2,000 worth of payments on the bike, right?
I made $2,000 worth of payments on the bike. And I asked him at that point if I could ride the bike for the day, which was going to be in the morning when I got there till night.
But you've essentially already purchased it. Why would you be test driving it then?
I really didn't ride it in the beginning because every time I went over there, it was after work and I was tired and everything.
What was the agreement in terms of when you were
We
bringing
agreed
back?
to the morning.
There was
to the
not
night.
really an agreement where he was going. It was just he said he wanted for a couple hours. I said, just make sure you're back before dark and don't take long.
Did he specifically say a couple of hours?
Yes.
And what time of day or night was this?
I would say noon, 1.
Noon or 1. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Now, did you tell them you were going to take it out for a couple of hours?
No, I did not.
What did you say?
It was in the morning. I would bring it back late that night.
Usually when you test drive, don't you just take it around a couple of miles?
The bike was already being purchased.
Right.
And so whether I took it out for 1 hour or 2 hours, the bike was going to get purchased.
But isn't the problem is you never brought it back until the next day, sir?
That night when I was test driving it, I ended up going with some friend's house. And there was a fight on TV, and we started watching it. I drank a couple of beers, and I figured, okay, I'm not going to drive the bike anywhere.
And how long are you there?
An hour, 2 hours. We're pretty much tired. It was hot that day, so we just pulled in, and we were up in the mountains, so we didn't get signal there. So we came down a little bit. I was with my brother and a
About
friend.
what time of night was this at this point?
I would say about 9 o'clock.
And what time did you take the bike that day for the test drive?
About 10
in the morning.
9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Around there.
So at this point, the test drive has lasted 11 hours and
Right.
counting. Did he call you?
No, I texted him about 2 or 3 times saying if he don't call us or report back to us, we're going to report the bike stolen.
Coming up, did misunderstanding cause the confusion over the missing motorcycle?
I said, you know what, don't be threatening me on the phone.
So she said she would hurt your dad.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, on the phone call, no, I didn't threaten him.
Well, when did you threaten him?
And later, a long-term tenant and his landlord face off over broken belongings.
You said use my security deposit for last month's rent. Well, you can't do that.
Plaintiff Mark Leos says the Vans got ugly with him after a test ride. He's suing for a refund for motorcycle payments. Defendants Travis Van and Roger Van say they owe nothing because Mark stopped making payments. They're countersuing for lost wages.
He had the bike, and my dad was stressing. So I called my sister. We were all like, man, we don't know where the bike's at. It's gone. I'm trying to call him. Nobody's answering.
But you have his truck, right? So you know he's not going to go
what
too far.
happened was before he left, I filled out a paper, and I said, okay, you're taking the bike. You're responsible. You're taking it for a test drive. I wrote on the paper. And anything is on you. You're solely responsible. So he signed it, and I said, I want a copy of your driver's license and the keys to your truck.
Okay.
But he said, no, it's a company truck. I can't. It's going to be here. It's not going nowhere, but I'll give you a copy of the driver's license.
So you didn't have the keys, so he could have come in and picked up the truck at any point, is what you're saying. Can I see the paper that you had him fill out, by the way?
Yes.
Ma'am, you want to step up? Okay, and about what time do you get notice that he's still gone with the bike?
I call him and get a hold of him on the phone, and he basically tell me that he's going to bring that bike back when he wants to. And so I went off on him.
What do you mean by you went off on him?
Like, I was telling him, you need to bring that bike back. My dad is stressed out, he's sick, you're supposed to take it for a few hours and you're still not back yet?
And I said, who's this? And she started telling me and starting through. I went to your parents' home, and that's a nice man and everything. But if you don't get that bike back here, he goes, you don't want something happen at your dad's house or your dad to get hurt or anything. I said, you know what, don't be threatening me on the phone.
So she said she would hurt your dad.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, on the phone call, no, I didn't threaten him.
Well, when did you threaten him?
Well, I went off. I told him when he brought the bike back, that's when I really got in his face.
What time did he bring it back the next day?
It was about 3 or 4 with 300 more miles put on it.
3 or 4 in the afternoon the next day?
Yeah.
Really? You didn't bring the bike back until 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day?
I was bringing it back at 12 noon. That's what our agreement was.
And when I told him about the 300 miles, he said, 300 miles is nothing on a bike. That's nothing.
Yeah. Did you show up with the rest of the money to buy it?
Well, the next day when I took it back to him, I went to go take it back to him and say, hey, okay, here's the bike. Nothing was wrong with it. It's here. And she came out running, getting in my face, telling me, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to beat your ass. And then she's, I got somebody in the car waiting for you, and you're going to get your ass kicked today.
Did that happen? Did they put a hand on you? Did they hit you?
She almost swung at me. She's getting at me. And I told her, get her out of my face. He didn't say anything. He just kept standing there. I said, I said, do me and you got a deal, or what's going to happen with the bike?
He paid you $2,000 in cash? $2,000. And you have the bike because he returned it that day, albeit it was late. All right. There was an agreement in place. You were making payments towards the bike, and you had not paid for it yet. You still had $1,800 left to pay on the bike. The bike never should have been released to you in any event because it did not have insurance. However, for the limited purpose, they released the bike to you for a test ride as indicated on this paper. You said you didn't have a signal initially, but when you did have a signal, you saw that you had missed phone calls and text messages from them. Clearly, they did not expect you to keep this bike for 12 hours, certainly not overnight without their permission or authority. So the first person who breached this agreement that you went into for this test ride was you. In addition, you bought the bike back at 3 or 4 o'clock the following afternoon with 300 miles on it, sir. 300 miles. They did not give you permission to drive the bike in that manner. You have a counterclaim for lost wages for work. I'm not going to order him to pay your lost wages. Here's what I'm going to do in the essence of fairness. You can now take this bike and sell it to someone else that you want to sell it to. The bike is yours. He paid $2,000 for your trouble. You keep $1,000 of that, and I'm ordering you to pay back $1,000. Don't drop your mouth wide open. You started this entire thing. You put 300 miles on the bike. You kept it for almost 2 days. It's less valuable than before your joyride, sir. You call it a test drive. I call it a joyride. Judgment in this case, order payment $1,000.
I've learned from this that you cover all your tracks. Make sure you document everything, put everything on writing, and don't leave no ends untied.
Plaintiff Andre Inu-Bennett says the defendant illegally broke into his condo and put his belongings in a box in the hallway. He's suing for the value of his saltwater fish tank motors, slander, and emotional distress. He's accompanied in court today by Lisa Harrison. Defendant Norman Mulling says he owes nothing because he didn't damage the belonging and Andre was late on rent. He's countersuing for loss of rent and damages to his condo.
Andre Inu-Bennett?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Norman Mullings,
Yes, Your Honor.
for $2,500. $600 of that is the value of 2 fish tank motors, and the remaining is slander and emotional distress. Mm-hmm. You are countersuing, sir, for $5,000 for 3 months rent loss and $1,700 in damages.
That is correct.
We'll start with you, Mr. in Bennett.
Okay.
Tell me what's going on here.
Okay. October of 2006, I moved into the defendant's condo. And
how long did you live there?
8 years. I lived there up until was it March 1st of 2015. Yeah, I lived there a long time. I moved in with she was my girlfriend then. She was pregnant back then. She's my wife now. And we've been there for about 8 years. It was a condo. It was a one-bedroom condo. I stayed there for, I think the rent was like, I forget, $10.50. Rent was $10.50.
The rent was $10.50 when you first started. Was there a lease 8 years ago?
Yeah, it was lease 8 years.
Okay, and how much were you paying when you left 8 years later?
$11.30, but it was $1,100, but the $30 was for parking.
Was he a good tenant?
Up until about the last 3 years, yeah.
What happened the last 3 years?
He just, every month he was late with the rent. 5 days, 20 days. I have to be after him to get my rent.
I did pay him the rent late, but he always got the rent. He would ask for late fees. He got his feet.
But you're just saying when you moved out, you were up to date on your rent.
I moved out, when I gave him that final payment in February of 2015, that was it. I paid him everything I owed.
Tell me the circumstances of why you decided to move after 8 years and what happened.
Well, I think it was December of 2014. I think the date was on 25th of December, Christmas or Christmas Eve, can't remember exactly. He said something to me about eviction.
He was like a month and a half behind on the rent.
Okay.
And I sent him notice. I was like, you have to pay the rent up. If not, consider this your 60-day eviction notice. And he paid 1 month still behind, like a half. Every time you call him, it's an excuse. Oh, I can't find it. I lost it in the couch.
In the couch?
Yeah, he can't find it. So I just got to the point where I was over it.
Coming up on Judge Faith, was the changing of the locks an illegal move?
You cannot change the locks and lock your landlord. No, you don't understand.
Plaintiff Andre Bennett says Norman damaged his belongings. He's suing for the value of his saltwater fish tank motors, slander, and emotional distress. Defendant Norman Mulling says he owes nothing because Andre damaged the condo. He's countersuing for loss of rent and damages to his condo.
You say the word eviction triggered something in you, and that this
because I
point
never
you're
heard him
concerned.
say anything like that to me before.
Well, everyone has their breaking point, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but when he said that, I started looking for a new apartment. I started talking to the realtor about moving. He showed me the place around the corner in the same complex.
So when did you move out, sir?
I moved February 28th.
February 28th. What happens in February? Now, do you pay February rent?
He did not.
I gave him everything. I deducted my $10.50 security deposit when I initially moved in.
Okay, no, you didn't. So because because I read your papers, I know what happened. You did not pay your last month's rent because you had a security deposit that was $1,050. You said, use my security deposit for last month's rent. Well, you can't do that. If he keeps your security deposit after you move out, then you have a right to take him to court like you're doing now to get it back. But what you can't do is say, I'm going to live here for a month and not pay rent, and you just use my security deposit. So what happens in February? You decide you're going to move out. You have noticed that he's leaving.
Before he decided to tell me that he's not paying me the security, I said, you have until the 1st.
Okay.
Noon of the 1st.
March 1st.
Right, noon. And then when he gave me that, oh, I'm not paying you, I said, well, you have to be out by midnight on the 28th.
What day did you tell him, no, you can't be out, you have to be out on the 28th?
This was probably like around the 8th or 9th of February when he...
No. When did you say it was?
That was that was the day I was moving.
Did you tell him on February 28th, the day of, to be out that night by midnight?
I reminded him that he has to be out. He's telling me that he's telling me that because I told him the 1st, he's still sticking to that.
And on the 28th, you told him to be out by midnight.
Right, because that's when the lease is up.
What happened when you moved out, sir?
I moved most of my stuff out on the 28th. I left the apartment probably like midnight. I was going to come back so I can get the rest of the stuff. I had some fish tank motors in there.
And what did you do? Because he told you to be out by midnight. So what do you do?
I told him he'll get the keys tomorrow.
And what did you do? You changed the lock.
So I did that before. I felt like he might go in the apartment.
So you changed the locks without letting him know. You cannot change the locks and lock your landlord. No, you don't understand.
Yes,
you can't change the locks and lock your landlord out of the apartment without giving him a key. You don't have a right to do that either. What do you say the damages were?
The damages were to the kitchen. I had to totally gut the kitchen. The bathroom had mold.
Well, he's been living there for 8 years. You didn't have to gut the kitchen. Let me see the photos of what it looked like before he moved in and after. He's been living there for 8 years, sir.
I have the pictures of while they were living there.
You don't have photos of what it looked like before?
No, I don't.
So how are you going to prove that you had to gut the kitchen because of something he did?
Because the condition that the kitchen was in.
You want me to just take your word for it? Before he moved in 8 years, the kitchen was brand new?
Okay, so somebody's going to move into a house with a condition like this?
I have no idea. Some people do. I mean, what Okay, I see dishes, but what about this photo tells me the kitchen needs to be gutted?
When he moved out, underneath the sink was filled with rat feces and everything.
Okay, that's dirty.
I had to bleach it, sand it, and reglaze it to bring it back up.
So you had to clean. You had to do some extra cleaning.
Deep cleaning.
Okay.
That's the stuff that he left in the apartment that I put right by the door in the lobby. It was the lamp and the 3 chairs, and in the box is the pumps that he's talking about.
Ma'am, would you step over, please? You are the plaintiff's wife?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Underneath the sink, a few years ago, one of the pipes started leaking.
Did you report that to him?
Yes, he came and he tried to fix it.
So you knew about that? The pipe
And
under
it
the
got
sink?
fixed.
He came and tried to fix it, but he couldn't fix it, so maintenance came and fixed it. Also, there was a situation with the stove wasn't working.
And you reported that to him?
The oven. He came in, he turned it off, he turned it on, he said, oh, it's working fine. When we went and turned it on, we couldn't cook in our oven for 6 to 8 months, so we had to go and buy a toaster.
So for 6 to 8 months, they didn't have an oven?
I went in.
That's egregious.
I went in. They tell me it wasn't working. I told them that in order for it to work, and you can look it up, the clock has to be set. And I went in, the clock is blinking, and I set it, and the oven came on and worked fine. And I never heard back
you
from
certainly haven't proven damages because from what I've heard, the issues that you talk about, they actually reported to you and gave you an opportunity to fix those.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Why are you suing them for 3 months of rent?
Because that's how long it took me to fix the apartment.
Okay, no, sir, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. As a landlord, I mean, you did a renovation. They are not responsible for paying rent to you while you renovate the apartment after they lived there for 8 years. Here are all the issues in this case to both of you. You can't use your security deposit for rent on your last month of living there. That's for damages after you move out and for him to assess the damages. Secondly, I have evidence of a text message I asked you before. Did you tell him on the 28th to be out by midnight? You said no. You told him that earlier in the month. Then he produces a text message to me where you told him you need to be out at midnight on 11:59 p.m. So I think you changed it that day. You were upset with him. You told him to be out by midnight. That's not adequate notice. You also breached the lease because you illegally changed the lock, sir. And you cannot change the locks and lock your landlord out of his own house. You can't do it. You then performed an illegal eviction because you showed up midnight. He still has 3 fish tanks in a chair, and you take those things and put them out in the hallway. You don't have a right to touch his things. So the only remaining issue here is, because I find that you both breached agreements to each other, is damages. And you have not proven to me, based on the evidence from their testimony, that they reported several issues to you during the course of the 8-year period. You have not proven to me that you had to do anything beyond normal wear and tear because of what they did to the apartment. You did not bring in a single photo here today to show me what that apartment looked like before they moved in. So your cases are both dismissed against each other. Have a good day.
I mean, I learned not to change the locks.
I've learned to take pictures before my tenants move in, after, and even during.
A New York hairstylist and his favorite customer come to court over a loan between secret lovers.
She says she's in a bad situation. She needs cash. She can't pull out cash from her bank.
First of all, he and I weren't just friends.
No, it's totally not like that.
She sends you a picture of a cat, and you say, "I like cat. Can I come over?" What did you mean when you wrote, "I wish I can hold you and feed you right now"?
Maybe I wasn't drunk.
Later, he confessed that I gotta tell you something. I'm married.
So were you just lying to everyone?
Plaintiff Roy Wren says the defendant was a good friend, but then asked for a loan and reneged on her promise to pay him back. He's suing for the return of a personal loan. He's accompanied in court today by Wei Yang. Defendant L. Lee says she doesn't owe because Roy hid his true identity from her, and the money was a gift between lovers that he never expected to get back.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Wren versus Lee.
Thank you, Juan. Roy Wren?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, L. Lee, for $3,000 for a loan you say she owes you?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Mr. Wren. How do you know Miss Lee?
Lee she come to my salon to do her hair. And
you're a stylist?
Yeah, I'm a hairstylist. Okay. I'm a hairstylist. And we talked a lot, and then we've been hanging out for a few times for dinner. And then after that, she, I think it's a month after, she began to send a message to me, says she's in a really bad emergency. She says she's in a bad situation. She needs cash. She can't pull out cash from her bank. So I discussed with my friend Wei.
Yes. Who are you?
I'm her coworker.
You're his best friend?
I'm his friend and coworker.
Oh, you work at the salon as well?
Yes.
Did you know Lee?
No.
Okay, so...
But she told Roy that she owned an investment company.
But you only know this because he told you these things, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
but he's here to tell me these things himself.
Yeah.
Wei has her Instagram before. Instagram.
He follows me on Instagram. Why are you following her on Instagram?
So basically, Roy followed her because they were friends.
Okay.
So I can see it through her.
So you were just creeping?
No, I'm
looking
not.
Looking at her Instagram?
No, I'm not creeping on her.
So the two of you work at the salon.
Yes.
She comes in as a guest to get her hair done, right? And the two of you meet and you become friends.
Yes.
And after a month, she comes to you and asks you for $5,000. That's not a red flag to you?
Yes.
How do you know her? Do you know her that well?
Before.
In a month?
Because we hung out for a few times for dinner in a month. But
wait, were the two of you dating?
No, not dating. It's just regular dinner. So,
she says it was a gift. What do you say happened?
No, she says she needs the money, and she says she wants me to lend to her, and she's gonna give me back in
1 week,
around a week.
Your Honor,
okay, tell me what's going on, man. What was the conversation?
If I may, first of all, he and I weren't just friends.
Okay.
Okay, first I went to his salon as a guest. That's right, and we weren't just friends. We dated. We went out. We did everything that.
You're saying the two of you were intimately involved?
Yes. And seriously.
Maybe she thinks we did, but no, we didn't date because each time we hang out.
Why do you think she thinks that the two of you were dating?
I have
no idea. You think she's just making it up? She's just making it up?
Yeah, she's just making it up because.
What proof do you have that the two of you were more than just friends? Because you're saying he gave you this money because he was your boyfriend. What do you have? What's she going to show? What's in this folder?
The point.
It's coming. Let me tell you something. Way's over there looking nervous. I'm just letting you know. Way's looking nervous. What are these, text messages?
And those are the text messages that he sent
This is in April, after the two of you met.
Exactly.
She sends you a picture of a cat, and you say, "I like cat. Can I come over?"
I definitely like cats.
I'm just so emotional over these text messages because you write, "I want to see you." She writes to you, "Please just get home safe." You write back, "I will, baby." Do you call all your friends baby?
Kind of.
Oh, you do?
If it's really, I think they're friends. We just. Like,
Do you call all of your clients baby?
If we are friends. Not
you call Way baby?
No, I call.
Yeah.
I call.
That's your best friend. Way's like, nope. Oh, wait, hold on a second. The next text you write, "Love you, baby."
Coming up, text messages tell a different story.
He writes back, "I got home, baby. Good night, sweet dream. Love you, moi."
Did I text that? No, I didn't.
After some intimate moment.
You gonna still stick to that story? Y'all were just friends?
Okay, but.
Okay, what?
Plaintiff Roy Wren says L asked him for a loan and promised to pay him back. He's suing for the return of a personal loan. Defendant L. Lee says she doesn't know because the money from Roy was a gift.
I would say, yeah, I did text those kind of message. She knows that I'm married before.
Oh,
you're
married?
In the first place, yeah, she knows that.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to tell me
he was married.
the truth?
When the first...
That's why you don't want to tell me the truth? How long have you been married?
I've been married 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, 3 years.
Did you know that?
Sorry, I can't remember.
Did you know that he was married?
Nope, Your Honor.
She knows. She's lying.
Now
she knows
I know.
it the first time.
But back then.
When do you say you found out?
After some intimate moment.
No,
How did you find out?
I told her in the first dinner with my friends.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you write him something back, and he writes back, I got home, baby. Good night, sweet dream. Love you, moi. I wish I could hold you and feed you right now.
Did I text that? No, I didn't. No, I
Sorry.
You gonna still stick to that story? Y'all were just friends?
Okay, but
okay, what?
Even this, I think there's nothing matters between the lending money.
Well, I think it's extremely relevant because she's saying that you were her boyfriend and you gave this money to her as a gift. You're saying she was just a friend and it was a loan.
I have the text message showing that she.
So why did you write to her? I just want you to answer this question. What did you mean when you wrote, I wish I can hold you and feed you right now?
But
what did you mean by that?
I don't know if I texted.
You have to consult with Wei?
Maybe I wasn't drunk, but.
Maybe you were drunk.
Maybe, because I really.
You just gonna stick with the story?
Not that.
Oh.
I have.
Hold on a second. I have a photo. Let's pull the photo up. Is that you?
Right, that's me.
You kiss all your friends on the lips?
No. Okay, first I have to say that at first she knows that I'm married.
You didn't know? You didn't know she had these text messages in this photo?
She doesn't care of this because she's.
Do you care? You're asking about her. Do you?
Honestly, I feel really ashamed to my wife. I feel really ashamed to my wife.
Your wife found out about the affair you were having?
Yes, she did.
Okay, so why don't you tell the truth
by
then?
myself.
If your wife knows that you had an affair with her, why come into court and tell me this whole story that the two of you were just friends, sir?
I'm not lying. I'm just hiding a little. I don't want to.
What happens is most people won't file a lawsuit because they don't want to have to come into court and admit that they loaned the woman they were having an affair with, or they gave the woman they were having an affair with money. That's why we don't see these cases.
I know. So I have.
What proof do you have that it was a loan?
I have proof that she said it's lending money, it's not giving money.
Okay.
That she said she's gonna give me back for the money.
And did you put anything in writing?
Yeah, I have those. I have paperwork.
Why do you say it was a gift? What do you say he said to you when he gave you money?
After that, we talked about it. After I got the money from him, his wife came to my apartment.
Wait, the two of them showed up at your apartment?
Apartment.
Because my wife knows everything between me and her, and my wife knows that she owes me money.
How did your wife find out that you had given her $3,000?
My wife was sitting there. She's a receptionist in the salon. So my wife sees everything, and I told my wife that I'm going to lend this money to a friend.
All right, so what happens? His wife shows up at your house.
Apartment, and then they both wanted to come up, but I told doorman to keep them down. So she and I started talking, and she was like, I don't care if Roy gave you the money or Roy lent you the money. I want it back because I'm his wife. That's what she told me.
Okay. And you said what?
And I said, talk to Roy about it. She kind of threatened me, so I was like, and then she just left.
Okay, well, you say she signed a document promising to pay it back.
Yeah, she had a document.
Well, how did you come to sign a document?
I did not sign the paper. She had the paper with my name and his name with it. The
document.
But he wasn't even there. She signed the paper for him.
Document.
You said it's not your signature.
Signature isn't mine.
Okay, whose fingerprint is on this?
That's hers and mine.
You put your fingerprint on the document?
Fingerprint might be mine, but signature isn't mine.
Okay, why is your fingerprint on a document saying you owe him $3,000?
Coming up on Judge Faith, the wife and the other woman seal the deal.
When she and I were talking on the rooftop, I told her everything, and she shed a tear. As a woman to woman, it's like I feel like really sorry, and then like I feel really bad.
So have a girl chat. Bring her a tissue, get her a cup of tea. But what you don't do is take your fingerprint and document that something's a loan when it's a gift.
Plaintiff Roy Wren says L asked him for a loan and promised to pay him back. He's suing for the return of a personal loan. Defendant L. Lee says she doesn't know because the money from Roy was a gift.
She told me the fingerprint stands for that I got the money from Roy.
That's not what this says.
No.
This on the document it says. On the document it says that he loaned you $3,000, payable 1 week from today's date. The date of the document is June 15th. These are the terms of the agreement. Nothing more shall be added after this. So you having a fingerprint on a document is tantamount to your signature. That's you agreeing to the terms of the document.
But if you can see, that's not my signature.
But you're saying that's not your signature, but why is your fingerprint there?
Fingerprint, what she told me is like, put the fingerprint as a proof that you got the money from Roy.
But you can read the document. You see what it says. It's not about him giving you money. It's saying these are the terms that you'll pay the money back.
I didn't read it thoroughly. I just put the fingerprints. She just put the lipstick on my finger. So she just said, Roy gave you the money, just put it in. I was like, okay then. But I did not sign the paper. You could check my signature. That's not my signature.
But you're acknowledging that this was the paper that you received in terms of this money. And the paper says that you'll pay back the money within a week.
And she
You're
just
saying they
disappeared.
forced your signature. I mean, you know, I understand I don't have the truth teller on this side of the room. However, I mean, you're saying that you acknowledge this document by taking, that's what people do. When they want the acknowledgement that you're the person that signed the agreement, they have you put your fingerprint next to it. Okay? And so your fingerprint is next to this signature on this document, and you're telling me that you just put your fingerprint there because it was supposed to mean something other than what the document says. The document is clear.
That's what she
The
and I
document
agreed.
is crystal clear. You're an adult. You're a grown woman. No one forced you to. You didn't call the police because she used a gun and put a gun to your head, right? She didn't threaten you, right? She didn't put a knife to your throat, right? She didn't do any of those things, correct?
Correct.
So you weren't forced. You did it of your own free will.
I had a sympathy on her when she was
You had what?
whipping right in front of me.
She was what? Weeping in front of you.
When she and I were talking.
So
she
get her
shed a
tissue.
tear.
You don't put your fingerprint
She
on
have
the
a
loan
doorman.
document.
She have a doorman. My wife is only that tall. It's kind of, it's skinny than her.
What are you saying, sir? What are you saying?
Okay. When she and I were talking on the rooftop, and when she asked me all the little details that happened between him and me, I told her everything, and she shed a tear, and she's like, as a woman to woman, it's like, I feel like, okay, forget about this guy, but to her, I feel like really sorry, and like, I feel really
So
bad.
have a girl chat.
Exactly.
Bring her a tissue, get her a cup of tea. But what you don't do is take your fingerprint and document that something's a loan when it's a gift.
Understood.
And you say that she actually wrote a check to you for the $3,000?
Yeah, right. She wrote a check that is not on her name, but I didn't get that money. And after that...
I mean, listen. I think you got played. This is why I knew something was off about you from the beginning. Because who meets someone in their salon and she's just a client, just a friend? Well, you're mighty quiet right now.
Yes.
Because you knew something was going on between them, didn't you?
I didn't know what's going on with them.
You knew that he was seeing her, right?
I knew because he went with a friend to go eat dinner with
But you knew that there was something going on more than they were just friends, correct?
That I don't know.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know. Yep.
Okay.
That I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Your best friend, you came all the way to court with him today.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you had no idea.
No.
This is the first time that you're hearing that it was more than just a platonic relationship. Yes. You can have a seat, sir, because you're not telling the truth either. Have a seat. This is your character witness? This is your witness?
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
He knew, didn't he?
Actually, he didn't knew between me and her, but he knew the money problem.
So were you just lying to everyone?
Oh, well, his assistant know our relationship.
My question is this. I want to know this. You say you did not know he was married. My question is, how did you find out?
Later, he told me. Later, he confessed. And then he was like, I got to tell you something. I really love you. I don't want to lose you, but I got to tell you something. I'm married. And then I kind of had this idea that he had a girlfriend or something like that because he always goes home before like 11 or 12, like a Cinderella. Like he's got to run home like really early. He always told me that he has to go home early because of his work in the morning.
It's all about the cover-up.
No.
That's
No, it's
what he
totally not
told
like
me.
that.
I mean, you knew you sent all these text messages. You didn't think she was going to show up with them today?
I kind of knew that she's going to show up this.
But you were just going to deny it just in case. She didn't pull them out?
Because, well, I feel really shame for myself. But honestly, I have...
But you got to get that money back. That's just the bottom line. Your wife knows about the money. You got to get it back. So you got to do what you have to do at this point.
Yeah.
And then you write after, I guess this is after, I believe her. Because these messages here at the end of April, she writes to you, bye, and you apologize. Sorry, baby. And she writes back, I'll find someone else too. And you write no with all of these O's and the crying emojis. And then...
Well, yeah.
And then... And then she tells you, tell me why you don't have to share me when I have to share you. And you write back, I love you more than you love me.
She had a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend. And
Before
she's not letting me know.
Okay, Mr. Wren, this is what we're going to do. Because your wife went to her apartment and was able to get a document that she put her fingerprint on, acknowledging that she would pay back this $3,000, you get the $3,000. It's the legal question of whether it was a gift or a loan. I don't buy your story when you say you only did it because she was crying and emotional. You don't sign loan documents because someone's crying and emotional. You get them a tissue or you support them emotionally, but what you don't do is sign a loan document. That something's a loan and not a gift. So because of that evidence, sir, that is the only reason, because you have to understand that you have zero credibility with me because you just came in here and lied from the very beginning until you got caught. Only when you're backed in the corner do you tell the truth. So my judgment in this case is for you in the amount of $3,000 based on the evidence. Good luck to both of you.
I have to say, I know that I'm not the only one person you've been treated like that. So good luck.
Never turn your wife because she's the smartest. And she's kind of pretty too. She's like really stylish, beautiful girl. If I was a guy, I would be all over her. So stick with her, stay with her. That's it.